you can go out there and get business based on rapport.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because based on who I'm having a conversation with, eventually that rises to the surface, where in some of my videos, I actually call that out and I say, hey, by the way, this is a channel about detailing, and I'm going to teach you things that you're not going to learn on other channels. But really, the deeper level of what I'm trying to do is teach you what I call life skills, because I think every person should look at themselves as their own business, a business of me, Darren Priest. What resources can I provide regardless of where I go? So I want to teach people. Yes, I want to teach them about detailing, because that's why they came to me, was to learn about detailing. But part of my greater agenda is to actually develop them as an individual, and so they can actually learn more than just detailing. It's life skills, self-discipline, self-mastery, and so they can develop them as a business. So regardless of where they go, they're going to take stuff with them, even though it can be applied to the world of detailing or their own detailing business. Maybe that won't stick or that won't last. Well, guess what? They've learned a lot more from Darren than just how to detail a car. They've learned communication skills. They've learned problem resolution. They've learned critical thinking skills. All these things that to me are very relevant and critical to success in life, regardless of what industry you end up in. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense. I'm just trying to digest it all right now mentally. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And that's where I use the metaphor of going down the rabbit hole. And this is why my videos tend to not be 10 minutes long, because I truly want people to walk away with useful information that wasn't just entertaining or wasn't just engaging. It's like, okay, Darren showed me how to do it, but he also told me why he does it, and he applied context to it. So it's like, yeah, he showed me how to use a buffer, but why does he pick that buffer versus the 5 other buffers I could pick from? Why does he pick that speed? Why is he doing it in the sun? How is he able to do it in the sun? Why does he not have a canopy? Why? See, the whys to me are the greater understanding, rather than just the how-tos. How to do this, how to do that. It's like, well, wait a minute, but why does Darren do that? Well, there's going to be some basic reasons as to why. And then the deeper level is those intangible things of being your own business owner, dealing with the public, dealing with people, communication skills, and understanding that really most people, even though we were taught how to read and write, very few people were taught how to listen, and even fewer people were really taught how to truly communicate. And when I say communicate, I mean to walk away from an exchange with someone and have greater understanding. What is your viewpoint and your perception of the topic, and what is mine? Without that understanding, you're limited onto how far you can go. And to me, that's very critical in the equation of being a business owner. But I also think it's very critical in life, regardless of the relationship, whether it's a personal relationship with a significant other, your children, your boss, your coworkers, maybe you're a manager and the people you manage. So these are all skills that I'm trying to develop in my viewers, as a greater service to them that's far and above just auto detailing.
Okay, so what do you think about a complete separation of the auto detailing from those type skills? I mean, without, let's say someone just came to you and wanted some advice on business instead of auto detailing business. Can we separate auto detailing from you? Can you talk? Do you have enough information and insights to talk for hour, 2 hours about business strategy and, you know?
Yeah, really, and that's a good question because the simple answer is yes, absolutely. Will it go that direction? I hope it does, because honestly, uh, my bigger goal would be, I guess the accepted label for that would be like a life coach. I would like to do life coaching, business mentoring, business coaching, life coaching, call it whatever you want. I think because I have a good understanding of what I call human nature and the human psyche, and how, I guess a lot of my training came from Stephen Covey's book, Seven Habits of Highly Successful, or no, Highly Effective People, I think is what it's called, because it's all about what's called interpersonal relationships and skills. That's the winning balance between being dependent and independent. And it's the ability to get people to come together, creating a win-win for everyone involved. And that a strategy can be applied, I think, should be applied to every area of your life. I almost call it the Bible of earth life, where it really is, I think, should be required reading, and not just reading once, but actually studying it. I mean, I've read that book more times than I can count. And I don't just read it cover to cover. I just open it up and start reading, and have read it and read it and read it, because so because it's based in what I call human nature. It's always going to be relevant, because human nature is always going to exist. There's just basic rules of human nature that will never go away as long as the human species survives. And so it's every bit as relevant today as it was 30 years ago when it was first printed. So to me, that's kind of the handbook of life. And so, yeah, in my future, I could see myself very much transitioning from the world of detailing and getting guys to look at it at a more broader perspective, which isn't, hey, I love to work on cars. I'd like to be my own business owner. Therefore, I'm going to open up my own detailing business. It's like, well, okay, that's great. And I'm going to help you do that. But what I'd really like to help you do is to develop yourself as a business entity itself. So let's say in 5 years, you decide you don't want to do detailing anymore, but you've learned so much through my courses or my videos or my website that now you go into a job and you realize, oh my gosh, I've learned so much more that can be applied in every part of my life. So, the simple answer is yes. The more comprehensive answer in 10,000 words or less.
You know, your systems have to work within the systems. Each cog has to work off the other, and so on. So franchises, businesses, sales, marketing, advertising, it just builds on itself, but it all is intertwined.
Yeah, that's a very valid metaphor, cogs in the wheel, a system, because I like to use McDonald's as an example where everything, and this is how I've become as efficient and as profitable as I have become, is by systematically breaking everything down to a system. And as you said, each system is a cog in that bigger wheel. And each system needs to be uh, systemized for a reason. One is efficiency, and the second biggest one is so that it can be replicated. so that I can teach a guy, okay, this is how you clean a wheel. This is how you clean this specific type of wheel. You use this brush, this cleaner for the wheel, this cleaner for the tire, and this is how you do each tire and wheel, and each car has 4 of them. That's my system, and I've compartmentalized it into a bucket. So my van, every part of my world has been reduced down to a system. So the towels, for example, they're not only color coded, but they're also coded based on the job that you're doing. So I can say to someone that I'm training, it's like, okay, you need to do the chrome on this car now. We use the red microfiber cloths. They're in the second drawer down. So I don't have to walk over there and show him because it's already color coded. The green towels, those are for windows only. Now it's time to do the windows. Go over there and get a green microfiber cloth, and now this is the chemical you use, and it's labeled. So everything's been systemized so that it's efficient and that it can be replicated very easily or taught very easily. So not only is my approach to detailing a car broken down into a very systematic approach, and I start with the interior first. I start at the very back of the car. If it's a car, that means the trunk. If it's a van or an SUV, that means the inside of the back, and I work my way forward so that you're not repeating your steps. Once you learn the system, you don't have to think about it again because you've already learned it and it's ingrained in you, and you just go through the process. And then everything's compartmentalized. So I've got my separate interior detailing kit or bucket. It's got all the chemicals and all the tools and brushes to do an interior. I've got my wheel and tire bucket. It's all compartmentalized. I've got my polish and polish pads all compartmentalized. I've got my buffers all compartmentalized. So everything's broken down, as you say, into a system. And that builds efficiency, which once again equals profitability. But at a greater level, it also is a way to teach people more easily, and it can be replicated. So that's a very valid point, and it's an approach that I take in every part of my life.
It makes things easier, doesn't it? When you have a way of doing it, it's a way of doing things that makes it so much easier than you used to do it.
Absolutely, because before I broke it down into those systems, each car I would pull up to and I think, okay, where do I start? I'm unsure. And so it was like it's guessing game each time. So yeah, I want to be a credible source. So I believe in something what's called the power of suggestion. So in this moment, the suggestion is that if people are reaching out to Darren, that somehow he's relevant enough that someone wants to spend time talking to him, and that they feel that they're going to get some information that's either going to help their agenda or help their world or help their audience. So at a level, it's as simple as that, about social proof or social credibility, and also what I call chumming the waters, which is I'm building a foundation of followers, people that can trust me. They know that I'm going to be a straight shooter, and I don't work for a bigger company where I have a hidden agenda. I'm very transparent because
I think you're completely credible. You're completely relevant. You have a nice following, and I think you're genuine. So I think people are going to be attracted to that energy that you provide them.
There's so much information to deliver, but people really need to be able to digest it at a speed that's comfortable for them. And so that's where the goal is to make it into more bite-sized pieces that can be digested at a person's leisure, and their ability to assimilate that information. And I accept that, like my videos, like I said, I have some videos that are pretty lengthy. and they can fast forward through the parts that that are of no interest to them. Yeah, who knows where it will, who knows what different roads it will lead me down. I always keep my mind open. I don't I don't basically tell the world that, hey, it's got to come in this specific way. I just remain flexible and open-minded, knowing that I have no idea where opportunity lies, and I always want it to be a win-win for both sides. So I always remain open-minded and flexible, and just, you never know what the universe is going to throw at you.
I really appreciate your time and your insights, and I think a lot of people are going to find it valuable, and we'll put it out there.
Yeah, sounds great. I appreciate your time, by the way, and reaching out.